What are crystals? Crystals are any substance in which the atoms are arranged in a geometric, symmetrical, and three-dimensional pattern. This pattern is what is known as crystalline. Crystals were formed as the earth itself formed and continued to change over time. Crystals bear the indelible memory of the powerful forces that made them and shaped them. Some crystals were subjected to enormous amounts of pressure, whilst others were formed in layers and others formed in chambers deep underground. Most crystals have natural origins and have formed through inorganic means such as geological processes within the earth or via organic means within creatures. However, they were formed because their crystalline structures are believed to be able to absorb, focus, conserve, and emit energy. Crystals have been used throughout the ages as talismans, amulets, and adornment by many different civilizations in a multitude of ways. The ancient Sumerians were one of the first to reference the use of crystals within magic formulations. The ancient Egyptians used several different crystals and semi-precious stones in their jewelry such as lapis lazuli, turquoise, carnelian, emerald, and clear quartz. Within the ancient Egyptian culture, these were used primarily for protection and health. The Egyptians also used crystals cosmetically as they ground down lead ore and used them as coal. The word crystal comes from the Greek word for eyes. The ancient Greeks believed that clear quartz was water that had frozen so deeply that it would always remain in solid form. The ancient Greeks also attributed several severe ails to crystals, and many of the names that we use for crystals today are of Greek origin. Hematite was often crushed and placed on a soldier's body as this was believed to make them invincible. The Romans used crystal talismans and amulets as they believed that they would enhance their health and enable them to attract desirable things. The Chinese since ancient times have always valued jade highly and have used crystals within their own healing and energy balancing therapies, for example by using crystal-tipped needles in acupuncture. The Rigvedic practices in India also consider crystals as being valuable in the healing of emotional and metaphysical imbalances and conditions. Minerals, crystals, and gems have therefore been used for millennia to enhance the emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being of people across many ancient civilizations. From the 11th century in Europe right through to the Renaissance period, the virus of various semi-precious stones was extolled in the treatment of certain ailments. The stones would typically be used alongside herbal remedies, and again many of these stones were believed to have particular qualities of strength or protection. Using semi-precious stones to heal was at this time still quite widely accepted. Although no longer in use medically, in more recent times semi-precious stones and crystals were still given meaning and used. For example, a jet was worn as a sign of mourning, and during times of war, garnet was worn. In the 1980s, crystals and semi-precious stones saw resurgence as the New Age culture began once again to use them as an aid to heal. Due to the advances in science and our greater understanding of frequency and vibration, we now understand that all things are a form of energy. Each energy has its frequency and vibration, including crystals. We have now begun to gain scientific evidence through the breakthroughs in quantum science and the concepts of electromagnetism that support what the ancients already knew, that certain forms of energy can affect other forms of energy when the two are within the same space. This is why crystal healing is now becoming more readily accepted in modern times. Those who now practice crystal therapy believe that a crystal vibrates at its frequency and that when it is placed within our auric field it is connected to our vibrations and can stimulate biochemical responses that can affect our positive, affect our physical health status.